Welcome, dear viewers, to our beautiful program, Cultural Flavors. I'm your host, Eman Marafie, and this is my colleague, Mohammad Al-Qattan.
I'm so glad to be with you, Eman, today. And in every episode that we choose a really country, talk about it in a lot of perspective, correct?
Yes.
So before we go deep into our episode today, I would like to ask you to see how is the winter treating you so far?
Well, actually, it's going great, but since that, because it's very cold outside, not very, very cold till now, but you know the urge of wanting to eat now, like you crave things to like hot chocolate and cakes and stuff like that.
Correct.
So I'm going through a trouble.
So dear viewers, it's totally fine to eat, but try to do it in moderation. If you want to eat sweet, that's fine. In moderation as well. And don't forget to exercise as much as you could, because exercise prevents a lot of chronic diseases. So please be active.
And especially that, because the weather is very good, you can go and walk.
So we have a break and I'm going to come back, dear viewers. So please don't go away. And we're back, dear viewers, and as usual, so my colleague Eman, she is going to choose a country. So Eman, what are we going to have today?
Well, today's country is going to be about secret.
All right.
I have two hints. This island is surrounded all by water.
All right.
Okay, this is number one.
And this is the first hint.
I'll give you a deeper hint. Okay. The culture of this people, like of those people, they drink a lot of tea.
Okay.
Like they estimate at the person, one person, they drink 1,000 cups of tea.
Wow.
Per year.
Okay, this is tea, not coffee.
Tea.
All right.
They have also the afternoon tea.
Oh,
so if you guess the country.
I could guess. Should I guess or?
No, let's watch the report first.
So dear viewers, let's go watch this report and we'll be back. So please stay tuned.
It is an island country in the Atlantic Ocean. It lies off the northeastern coast of mainland Europe. It is made up of 4 parts: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The capital of the United Kingdom is London, in southeastern England. The country is a constitutional monarchy. The government consists of parliament, with members who are elected by the people. The head of the government is the Prime Minister, who is a member of the parliament. The head of state is the monarch, currently King Charles III. English is the most common language in the United Kingdom. Some people speak Welsh, Scottish Gaelic, or Irish Gaelic. International trade, finance, and insurance are important to the United Kingdom's economy. The country exports or sells to other countries electrical equipment, automobiles, aircraft, petroleum or oil, and iron and steel products. The United Kingdom has forests in northeastern Scotland and southeastern England. Common trees include oak, elm, ash, beech, pine, and birch. Some parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland have large areas of peat moss and heather. The largest freshwater lake by surface area in the UK is Loch Ness in Northern Ireland. It stretches 20 miles long and 9 miles wide. Rolling hills and plains dot the countryside of both North Ireland and England.
And we're back, dear viewers, after our break. We have our esteemed guest from UK, which is Mrs. Alison Shan. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
And we're glad to have you here with us.
It's such a pleasure for me too.
It is actually. We're going to talk about the United Kingdom. We're so excited about it. So let's go to find out about why is Britain so popular and a lot of people would like to visit this country.
I think, from my point of view, it's the diversity, because it's only 250,000 square kilometres.
Yeah.
So it's a small
It is
place.
small.
It's also an island, so it's surrounded by the sea. But wherever you go, you can get on a train and you can go to Wales, you can go to Scotland, you can go down to the south of England, you can go to London, you can go to, well, you have to actually catch a boat to go to Northern Ireland, of course.
Okay.
So that's lovely to go on a ferry.
It is, it is.
And you can actually access all these places really quickly. So you can make one day in one place, one day in another. And what we've done is we've actually kept our history. So we actually have evidence of dinosaurs, Neanderthals, and we also have evidence of which we base a lot of our living on tribal ideas and tribal cultures. When we all came together, we had the Celts, and then, of course, the Romans invaded. And then we had the Anglo-Saxons who invaded, and then the Vikings who invaded, and the Normans who invaded. So altogether, we've now got a tremendous multicultural country as such, where people who've lived there for a long time will say they belong to Wales, or Scotland, or Ireland, or England. And grouped together, that becomes Great Britain. But I must mention that Great Britain is not because we gave that name to Britain, saying Great Britain. It was because it was Britannia Major, and there was a Little Britain, and that was Brittany, and that was in France. So that was given by the Romans. Great Britain, that's what it's called. Now the United Kingdom is Great Britain, which is the geolocation, Scotland, Wales and England, and Northern Ireland. It used to be Ireland, but now Northern Ireland. So that's UK. So it's Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Interesting. Really.
But although as like it's small, but it has lots of information and history.
Correct.
Yes, because every single area is proud of their history.
Yeah.
And you'll find every British person will say, I'm British, I'm from England, but I've got this heritage. I have an ancestor from India. I have an ancestor from my side. I have one ancestor millennia ago, and that was from Phoenicia. And my father, it was sort of a secret within the family that two traders came over on the boats, because of course the boats from Phoenicia used to come to Wales and they traded for tin. It usually came up from Cornwall and also from Wales. So a lot of trading was going on thousands of years ago, and people got off and they stayed. So these two traders got off, started up their own business, married two Welsh girls, and one of those was our ancestor. So we've got a heritage.
Well, that's great.
This is very interesting. This really has a really great and a long history. And this is why I'm so excited to talk about the history as well. But let's say that if I'm going to travel from the main cities, so I could travel by train. So that's going to be the easiest way.
Excellent.
And how long should I stay in each city, probably to digest?
I would say about 3 days. I would say definitely go to the capital, and then from the capital you'll learn about how to go to different places, because tourism is fantastic.
It is.
And they'll say, oh, you must go and visit. Or if you go to Wales, where I live, then you go to Cardiff and the castles are there. You can just drive down one road and the M4, castle on here and castle here. Many castles, old castles, of course, you can go into. And you can go down to the coal mines that aren't being used anymore, or you can climb up to Snowdon, and in a day you can go down at the coal mines and then go up to Snowdon. It takes about 14 hours and you have to be very, very strong to do that. So really we welcome a lot of people into the country. Therefore the country is set out always and has always been for visitors. So, I mean, Shakespeare's plays show us all about the Moors that came in. That was Othello, and Italy was very popular at the time. Nothing could have happened without the boats. And before shipping, nothing could happen because we were an island. And we were made an island after the Ice Age. And when the ice melted, the channel was formed because we were attached to France at the time. that was England and Wales. We were attached to France, and the channel was formed due to the melting of the ice. So
then you were separated.
We were separated.
Okay.
Definitely. So always they go, well, we own a bit of France, or France owns a bit of us. So there were lots of wars that went on in the, I would say, Middle Ages for occupation. That's why Norman the Conqueror came over. He came over. William the Conqueror came over and did that.
So, Mrs. Alison, tell us about the four cultural differences between the four nations.
Well, each one has its own language to start with.
Really?
Because if you know the history of Britain, of Great Britain, England was dominant, and therefore England went in and annexed a lot of Scotland and Wales. First of all, Wales and Scotland. They were separate countries, and Ireland after that. So it would be, it's 16th century, it would be Wales, Henry VIII did that, and Scotland would be the 18th century, and then 19th century was Ireland. So the English language is used within each one of those countries.
Correct.
But each one still has its own language. So the Welsh speak Welsh.
Okay.
And you have Gaelic.
But like you do understand each other, right?
Well, only if we speak English.
English.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. English is a common language that we understand.
You mean the pronunciation, they like, or the
the language.
language itself?
Yes. And in the Highlands of Scotland, they cannot be understood by anybody in Edinburgh. So you also have the north of Wales that has a different voice, a different vocal delivery, different accent to the south of Wales, and they weren't very happy together. You know, wars going, not wars, but
which is good.
We're better now.
It's good everybody gets working together, which is
right.
really good. And you use the same currency, or you use different?
Yes,
oh,
it's the same currency.
Currency.
We do. But it could be the Scottish pounds, it could be the Irish pounds, whatever. But certainly for Wales, we use the same currency.
Okay.
Totally. We're different in a way, very proud of our culture. We're very proud of the fact that we had we were very attached to nature now.
Yeah.
That's something that people don't really know. But apart from the cities which grew up, all the tribes were attached to nature because nature was survival. So they had a lot of celebrations, and a lot of our festivals attached to prior to the fact that when the cities and the kingdoms were created. And that's something you can celebrate with everybody. Scotland's got a lot of them. So we keep our nature festivals going.
Well, I never knew that before, you know.
We have a spring festival and we have harvest festival because before the winter, then we've got to cure and salt our food. And that would be the last festival where you can have all the food that's fresh, fruit.
Yes.
In that festival, like people sell what they have, or like
no.
They only
they have a big feast.
Okay.
It was a big feast time at that time.
Okay.
And it goes.
They only celebrate. You mean like they don't have like
celebration?
Okay,
like fireworks displays. That was 5th of November, and that was due to Guy Fawkes trying to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
If they'd sell something, I would be in.
Yes,
I enjoy it.
They eat it. They give it to you. Of course, now it's commercial, but before it would be, I'll bring. It's same as in Kuwait.
Yeah.
Like Ramadan.
Exactly.
Ramadan. Yeah. I will bring food and I will put it on the table.
Yeah. And somebody else.
Yes,
exactly. Somebody else can bring.
And that's outside the cities. A lot of that goes on still. And there's a wonderful ceremony around the end of October in Scotland where summer fights winter. And you see the warriors of summer will fight the warriors of winter because, of course, winter's going to win because winter's coming.
Exactly.
So we keep up all of those.
Okay.
And what I've noticed is that like in Britain, summer is short, while winter is like most of the season.
Yes. We have 4 seasons. We have spring, and that's when the flowers grow.
Yeah.
Right.
And we know that because the buds come out. And spring is when there's a feeling in the air that this is the time that the lambs will be born, and this is the time that there's regrowth. And then you have summer, which is beautiful, of course. But it's short. We had short. 3 months. Everything's 3 months.
Okay.
And
divided equally.
divided equally. And then it goes into an autumn, and the leaves turn the most beautiful red or brown and golden. I've just left there and it was stunning. My mother had a marvellous carpet of scarlet leaves on her lawn, That's beautiful. And then what happens after that? Winter, when all the leaves die. So it's all tied up to nature.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So talking about food, Alison. So in every episode in Cultural Flavors, my colleague Eman, she is preparing for us a unique dish. So let's see what she's going to prepare for us today.
Well, today our dish is sweet, which is a dessert.
All right.
It's the English trifle.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
And the good thing's that at the end of this episode, you're going to try it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I need like your opinion about it. So we're going to heat 2 cups of thick cream until the rounds are simmering. Then we will add 4 egg yolks to it, and then with a little bit dash of vanilla. Then when the mixture is and the cornstarch, when the mixture becomes thick a little bit, I will assemble the cake with the jam, strawberry jam of course, and then with the rest of the fruit, then we will decorate it with whipped cream.
Wow, that's
Can I go and stand there and watch?
probably.
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
That'd be gorgeous. Love to see.
I actually got the recipe from a chef that he said that he used to work for the Queen.
Oh, how gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I tried it yesterday.
It must be perfect.
Yeah,
Yes,
I tried it yesterday before we come here. So it was really great. So I'll break the eggs. Let me first.
All right, so we're going to back to our conversation.
Yeah.
I'll come and sit down again.
Yes, let's get back. So, Mrs. Alison, we're still going to talk more about UK and touristic places in it and why it's so unique, as well as going to talk about cuisine. But we have a break. So, dear viewers, we're going to have a break and we'll be back. So, please stay tuned. And we're back, dear viewers, talking about the United Kingdom with our esteemed guest, Mrs. Alison. So, Mrs. Alison, we are having a good time talking about the United Kingdom.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So, let's see what my colleague Eman, she's doing with her unique dish. So, Eman, tell us, how is everything going so far?
Actually great. Everything is okay.
All right.
Just waiting for the cream to simmer.
So, both of us are so excited, really, to see the
Taste.
final version of it.
Hopefully it's going to be good. So, Mrs. Alison, tell me about the food you have there in Britain. What's like if, as me, as a traveler, if I want to go there and visit, what's the most thing I should try? As
From
a
British cuisine.
yes, from the British cuisine.
Well, British cuisine has been put together from many years and many millennia from all different countries.
Okay.
So if you want to look for traditional British
Yeah.
cuisine, it was actually what the poor people, the people who didn't have much money, they ate. Because the rich people had the spices that were coming over from the Middle
Everywhere.
East, from the spice route, and they're able to spice their food and have banquets and also bring in different foods from abroad. But the ones that you actually can try are the ones that the ones that were not the rich people,
Yeah.
they started to eat. And because we had a lot of fish, because we're an island, then fish and chips is very, very popular.
It is popular.
But we couldn't have that before the potato was brought over from America, from the new areas and stuff,
Okay.
potatoes.
Okay.
So you can see how we've got multiculturalism coming all the way through. And the Romans brought a lot over too.
So, but it's really fried, so it has a lot of oil. It's really, you could feel full when you eat the whole meat.
Yes, a lot of oil, a lot of pastry. Normally, you won't have the salads that you have.
Exactly.
You will have the pastries and the cakes and the sandwiches, mainly because people had to put on a lot of weight to keep through the winter. So if you are British, then the season has a great effect on you.
There is a reason
still.
for okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had to eat that. And of course, bread was in our country since 4000 BCE. So bread was a staple of the diet. But when they cooked the bread, the top went to the rich people. That's why we gave the name the upper crust.
Okay.
And we had the burnt bits.
Okay.
Everybody else had the burnt bits.
So why do you serve the fish and chips in newspaper? What's the reason?
It keeps it warm
Ah.
because it's an insulator.
Okay.
So we put on the salt and the vinegar, and also you have to have mushy peas as well.
This is what I noticed, that in Britain you eat mushy peas, unlike America they eat mashed potatoes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We also have mashed potatoes.
Oh,
No, but not much as like the mushy peas.
Yes, yeah, we like that, not for the fish and chips there. We've also got stews. The Irish stew comes from Ireland, and whatever they had within the vegetables at the time, they would put it in. Rarely it would be beef. Usually if it's a stew, it would be mutton. Therefore we have a shepherd's pie, which is also minced mutton with mashed potato on the top of that, because we had a lot of sheep.
All right.
So we used whatever we had. The poor people had to dig down for the vegetables because the vegetables that were like turnips.
Yeah.
And the rich people, they had all the leeks and onions because they could actually take them easily from certain places.
Yeah.
So
While you're talking, Mrs. Alison, I'm getting a little hungry a little bit here.
and we have Cornish pasties from Cornwall. And of course we've got Cornish clotted cream. Everybody's got their speciality. And the pasties, so I was told, was for men to go down in the mines, because there were many mines of different things that were being traded. Therefore their wives used to cook it. And I've heard that the proper pasty, I might be wrong here, so I'm just proper pasty, had the meat or whatever they could get in one end, and then the fruit or whatever in the other end. So they take the whole meal and go down to the mines and eat that later.
Wow. So what about sweet? I think you probably have a lot of sweet. Or just
We had honey.
Okay.
We had a lot of honey that came in, but the sugar cane came from abroad. And Elizabeth I used to eat a lot of sugar, and her teeth went black. And apparently, if you were rich and you had a lot of sugar, and your teeth went black, you were very rich. Therefore, they used to paint their teeth black to say that they were very rich in that way. And we found what we had in the Thames, swimming in the Thames, and what was in the country at the time in the 16th century, or 17th century really, it's 16th, late 16th for Elizabeth, because the Elizabethan cookbooks. So if you look at all the old cookbooks, you find the herbs and also the spices that came in. So you can find out when the spices come in, because you look at the cookbooks and there wasn't any here. So obviously it hasn't come in to the royal household. So we can find that. So in Britain, when you go around the old houses, they often have living history, where people dress up as the people of the period, and you go down to the kitchen.
That's really interesting.
And you see where they turn on the spit, you turn I don't think it would have been that, we'd have to cut up that, but a pig or something like, you know, that they had over there. Or I don't think it was a bull. It's too big.
Exactly.
So they'd have to also draw it. They'd have to hang it before it could come to the kitchen. So you learn all about how the food was produced.
This is really
While you're
good.
talking, I'm just going to give you some coffee.
Thank you.
So you can enjoy it.
Thank you.
And this is the black coffee, Eman, I believe, right?
Yes, it's espresso.
Thank you.
If you'd like to go to Scotland, they have a traditional haggis, which is then part of the sheep.
Yeah.
And they create a lot of food with that. This will be a traditional dish. And they also have chowder, because they can get the fish, so they create fish chowders. And we in Wales have the Welsh cakes. So that was just the flour and any fruit you could have. And it was
The dried fruit, right?
Yes, that's right. And it was cooked on a griddle pan. So flat, they're flat cakes. They're Welsh cakes, they're lovely.
Yeah.
And they last a long time. And
It tastes really good.
tastes gorgeous.
You know, I like that the poor people, when like they lack of food or anything, they can create whatever they have into a new dish. This is what I like.
Absolutely. And also, if there was a problem, say there were strikes in the mines, the mines went down, then somebody would take food to the people who were starving. So it's real community spirit within Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and a lot of England as such outside the cities.
Yeah.
So always, they still continue that today, because in lockdown there's a lot of help in that way.
This is very interesting. So, Mrs. Alison, let's see why Britain actually toward the Middle East? There is a reason behind that.
Yes. First of all, Richard the Lionheart, he was asked by Rome to come to the Middle East because there was a religious war that was going on at the time.
Correct.
That's why lots of the new ideas came back to Britain, and they came back from the Middle East with the soldiers returning to Britain.
Correct.
So they brought a lot of ideas of medicine, and they've always stated they've come from the Middle East. They don't say, oh, this is ours, we've worked this out.
That's great.
There's the wonderful comparisons between the British doctors and the Middle Eastern doctors because they brought them back.
Correct.
As well. And so advanced. So our medicine advanced tremendously from that.
Correct.
Of course, the Roman Empire brought us all together. And there's a wonderful statement that is written in Bath, which is the Roman Baths. And it said the Welsh masons, this would be prior to, say, about 55 CE was when they left. So the Romans brought over Middle Eastern stonemasons. They joined them with the Welsh stonemasons, and they created an advanced pulley system. So through the Roman Empire, we shared, and we were paid for it. Everybody was paid for it.
Correct.
And we shared all information. We knew about the Middle East for a long time because of this. A lot of our scholars used to come to the Middle East and came to the House of Wisdom to learn from the Arabic scholars, who, of course, at the House of Wisdom brought everybody in from all over the world during the Golden Age of Islam. And this is how we learned a lot. We learned Arabic, of course, and we were able to open up courses in Oxford and Cambridge, and that enabled more students to be able to understand.
Correct. This is very interesting. So it's unique that in the old ages that we've been really good at medicine as well as math. This is
absolutely.
And you built on it, and this is really
a lot of it
exactly.
Too. And then we asked Elizabeth I asked the Sultan, because now in the 1500s it was the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottoman Empire covered all of the Arabian Peninsula, and she asked the Sultan for support, and Huda Shah, the playwright, told me about this. And I investigated it, and therefore we had our first ambassador, 1582, and went to Istanbul. And then we had our first company for trade. And we started to trade then.
Very interesting. So we're still going to talk more. We have a lot of things to cover, but we have a break. So dear viewers, don't go away.
London, the capital city of the United Kingdom, is a vibrant and busy city that attracts people from all around the world. With its rich history, iconic landmarks, and diverse culture, London offers a unique experience for residents and visitors alike, making it the third most visited city in the world. One of the most famous features of London is the River Thames, which flows through the heart of the city. Along its banks, you will find some of London's most well-known landmarks, such as the Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, and the London Eye. These iconic structures contribute to the city's attractive skyline and are symbols of London's historical and cultural significance. London is also renowned for its world-class museums and art galleries. The British Museum, for example, houses a vast collection of artifacts from different periods and cultures, which distinguish them from other museums around the world. Additionally, the city is home to the Tate Modern, showcasing contemporary and modern art, and the National Gallery, which features masterpieces by artists like Van Gogh and Da Vinci. These cultural institutions make London a hub for art enthusiasts and history fans. Furthermore, London is a melting pot of diverse communities, each contributing to the city's vibrant tapestry. Neighborhoods like Camden, Notting Hill, and Chinatown offer a variety of cuisines, markets, and cultural experiences. The city's famous red double-decker buses and black cabs are not just forms of transportations, but also part of London's unique charm. Overall, London's dynamic blend of history, culture, and modernity makes it a captivating destination for those eager to explore the heart of the United Kingdom.
And we're back, dear viewers, after the break. So, I believe I have a question before we head to our questions about you living in Kuwait. You have a research about women in the 19th century, women travelers in the Middle East. Can you tell me about it?
I'd love to. It's incredibly exciting.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I found that there were women who travelled from Britain through the Middle East.
Yeah.
It wasn't called the Middle East at that time. And they loved the country. They loved every region that they stayed in, and many died in those regions. They were solo travellers. So they would employ local people and local guides to take them through various areas. And I just recently flown over in BA coming back to Kuwait over the Anafud, and it was at sunrise. And I was able to see this most amazing desert and realise that one of the ladies, Lady Anne Blunt, travelled across it. Yeah. And it was never ending. So they were intrepid travellers. But what they also did, they were anti-imperialists. And they wrote about their own concepts about how they learnt from people of the Middle East, how the maps were created, all the people that supported them, and talked about their history. So most of their letters and their travelogues are from information that was given to them. So what I decided to do was pull all these ladies together, and I've got 6 or 7 at the moment, 6 that I have researched incredibly intensively. And I found an alternative or a counter-narrative that goes through from women, that goes all the way through and has a history of the Middle East, which I'm very lucky to be able to lecture on at the Dar al-Athar al-Islami in their cultural season. Sheikh Hussain Al-Sabah has invited me once a year to go forward and say what I'm going to lecture on. And the ladies go from 1850 to 1950. Correct. So it goes all the way through Britain's situation within the Middle East, and how the ladies contributed to the fact that they would put a counter-narrative forward within their own letters to home and their own books. They weren't employed by the military, they weren't employed by the government. They were free agents. Often they were in trouble because they would cross over here with no permission, and the Ottomans were worried about them and the British were worried about them. Women were like a loose cannon. But they drew the maps, they documented everything. Their photographs show a bygone era, and Gertrude Bell's photographs have gone into UNESCO's register of world memory. So therefore we have a Middle East, photographs of the Middle East that went right, I think, 1875 onwards, that is going towards that. Wow. So I'm bringing all these dissipated archives together to find a common agreement that it was a wonderful home for these ladies. And they were academics, they were incredibly intelligent, they went through the most dreadful environments, and most of the information comes from Arabic scholars. So they have given me their information. They offer me access to libraries.
Cooperating with you and
totally, and telling me more and more.
Exactly.
So I can. It's almost like a treasure hunt where I will go down one way. I now get to a point when anybody goes, "What are you studying? What are you going to speak on?" I know a person who can tell you about that. So
very interesting. Very interesting research. I'm glad you talk about it. So.
Thank you.
Let's see, Eman, how's she doing here?
Well, actually, I'm waiting for this one to cool down, so I already have one.
So far smells really good.
Yeah, I'm just going to add the whipping cream on top.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I'm going to decorate it with some whipping cream.
Oh, all right.
That's it.
Perfect. So, Mrs. Alison, we're going to continue. I would like to find out your life here in Kuwait. What do you do, and your experience so far in Kuwait?
My experience has been 40 years.
Yes. Oh, wow.
I came with my husband. We just got married in Wales, very young, and we came over for 1 year, and we decided to stay. And our children grew up here, and they love it tremendously. They loved it tremendously.
So 40 years is a really long period of time.
It is.
So
it's a wonderful country.
It is.
Yes.
So what is unique about it? Probably, what is the different?
The people.
Okay.
And also the atmosphere. and the environment.
All right.
So it's a wonderful place to sit by the Arabian Gulf and just breathe.
Okay.
And as I walk along the seashore, you can see where the fossilized oyster shells are, so you know it relates to the pearl diving.
Correct.
There's such history.
Correct.
And my children loved it too.
Very good.
People are wonderful. Their history and their generosity and their dignity. I don't think you could find people like that.
Could you find yourself here at home?
I have been at home.
Okay.
This is what I call home.
This is really great. And we are glad actually that here in Kuwait that we actually live together. We have a lot of community and we're working together. And this is
it's wonderful.
It's really good that we can help each other and we respect each other. This is really the unique thing in Kuwait. So
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
This is Alison. Do you find difficulties here in Kuwait, like comparing between our culture and your culture?
No.
It's not.
No, not at all, because I think that anybody who comes into a country must find out what is expected of them within that country.
Yeah.
And they must follow the etiquette and the rules and traditions. So this is what we found when we came in 1984, and we've continued. So it's never been a problem at all. It's been a delight. And I have learnt so much, because all the things I've been able to do, I doubt if I've been able to do them in Britain.
Wow.
And I certainly wouldn't have got on the course of history now that I have gone through.
We are so glad to hear that you're enjoying your time and life here. So what do you do if you want to have fun in Kuwait? Where do you go? So is there any specific places that you visit, or what is your activity?
Well, I have a drama company, and we have many shows.
Oh, and here in Kuwait?
Yes, it's One World Actor Centre, and it's a multicultural company. And at the moment, the major director for shows is Hamid Al-Janai, who's doing Shakespeare, and we actually perform at the Dar al-Thal Islamiyya under the National Council. So
you're already busy.
Very, very busy. But what I do is I love the museums, and I love the Maritime Museum and Al-Hashmi, and of course the Gulf, and all the souks and the restaurants that are typically Kuwaiti, typically local. I have great friends who invite me to dinner, invite us to dinner, and discuss their culture with them, because I'm very much into the history side of it. Malls are wonderful, but they're all over the world, aren't they?
Okay.
But do you love the food here in Kuwait?
Pardon?
Do you love the food here in Kuwait?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
What's your favorite dish?
I like salads.
Okay.
So all types of salads and hummus, of course. That would be my main. And lamb, of course, in that area. I'm a simple eater.
Have you tried machbous?
Yeah, it's good. My children grew up on a lot of Arabic food, because they had many, many Kuwaiti friends. And of course, they speak Arabic fluently. And they loved all the food. They're always out to another restaurant or a friend's house or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's tremendous. Absolutely. We try and find it when we go back to Britain.
So, Mrs. Ellison, I'm just concerned to know why actually in private school you teach drama. Is there any reason behind that?
Why they teach drama in private schools? It's the idea behind it. It creates the holistic person in that way. It's also a safe space. So you're able to expel your emotions. You're able to create relationships and understanding situations. It could be war, it could be arguments, whatever, within a safe space. So you're able to control your emotions. You're able to think out the box. You start with an idea, and you've got to really work hard and be disciplined to bring it to conclusion. So if you have to do a play, it's up to you. You have to find the group, you have to find the budget, you have to. It's very, very tough. It's like working in a company. So within that, within schools, children have that experience of going out into the world.
Yes.
Because once they're out of Q8, they're into the wide world. And often if they haven't experienced something of that, they're not prepared as such.
Yeah. I wish we had that, like when I was like in high school. We haven't had that.
It's really important for empowerment. A teacher has to be very careful, though. They have to be able to empower every single student and make sure their development and their growth is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really crucial time for me right now, because I think the food is ready.
Yes, it is.
So I believe it looks really good so far.
I hope so.
I'm assuming as well it's going to taste good as well.
So
I'm going to pass this to
please.
Mrs. Ellison.
Thank you.
This is yours. Thank you. And this is for you. This is
Oh, I love lovely spoons.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much, Eman, for preparing
You're very welcome.
nice
Hope you like
sweet.
it.
Yes. So probably you could try it, and
I
hopefully
will.
you can.
Let's try it the British way. It's very hard. And that means I've got
You have to dig
right
in.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to dig right down to this. Oh, it feels good. My gosh.
Because the different like textures.
I would like to thank you. Oh, before we go, actually, before we thank, how it tastes first of all? Taste.
The spoon went right down.
All right.
All together. That's really lovely.
Oh, thank you.
You must come over when I have mine.
We're gonna try yours at some point. So we would like to thank you so much for your time as
My
well as
pleasure.
for your valuable information. We did really enjoy your time as well as your information.
Yeah, and you have a lot of information that I really did not know before. So I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So dear viewers, we have a break and going to continue the cultural flavors. So please don't go away.
Dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed today's episode with our guest. And please stay tuned with our other episodes because each episode we have a new guest, a new country to know about. Don't miss that.
I totally agree with you, Eman. But before we ended this episode, let's talk about a little bit about the United Kingdom.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So what did you like most about it?
Well, actually, I've been there before. I've been there maybe twice or three times, something like that.
As probably a lot of Kuwaitis go there in the
Yeah.
summer. So probably this is a
I
popular
enjoyed
place.
the Harry Potter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It has a really long history. The food is so delicious over there, and this is why a lot of people visit this country in the summer. So dear viewers, we're going to see you next week with a different episode. So please be safe.
Bye-bye.